Okay, we're back, we're back, we're back. I see me. Can you guys see me? Is this playing? Alright, let's see. OBS looks like it's running, says it's still streaming. I should be back. Alright, you can see me. I can't see me, which is strange. There! Yes! I'm having all sorts of, like, crazy technical things. Oh, please don't tell me OBS, like, failed again. Like, as soon as I sit down. Alright, well, still spinning, still going. Let's see what happens. I'm trying to think. Actually, there might be some. You okay as far as you can see? Okay, well that's good. I can't see on my own screen actually. I have a little spinning circle thing going on. So usually I have myself live and muted, mostly so I can read chat, and then I can see what you guys are replying to if I do something. But yeah, I can't actually see myself. However, I'm in Southern California. I don't know how many people here have been here for a while or who's new. And there are some windstorms in the area, as well as some fires. We are mostly safe where we live, but some of those windstorms are actually knocking down trees and sending them into transformers, knocking down power lines. So, I mean, there's always a possibility that we uh, could lose connection. However, I'm still not connecting to my own stream, which is frustrating and disturbing. So I'm starting my next row here, and I need to figure out. Cool. Are you gonna pass by? Are you going to pass by? Can you hit F5? Can you refresh my stream? Yeah. All right. So I was just really lazy and didn't want to stand up. I would have stood up if I, was the only one here. That's the toll for passing by. Yes, and I can see myself now. Alright, so next row is just straight up green from end to end. That's fantastic. So much green, all the green, all the green, hide the black. Hide your kids, hide your wife. Alright, well I hope my technical issues haven't chased everybody off. Thank you very much for that, host. Greatly appreciated. I also need to find myself some new gifts. Left Shark is there. I mean, I'm guessing that's Left Shark. But, need a bird! You're awesome! But yeah, I need to find some new little gifts. And I want to, like, get my own made by somebody. And I'm working with an artist right now. And I've been kind of sort of working with him for a while now. He's been busy. I've been busy. You know, he had time. And I'm like, I'm not really streaming, so you can take your time with it. And I'm like, okay, I'm streaming again. Can I have those pictures? So I'm having him make a little, like, mascot for the channel. And we've been working on the designs since like April. I'm really excited. It's gonna be a kitty cat, and we were talking about like, oh, am I gonna name the cat? I was like, I guess the mascot needs to have a name, right? So It's a kitty cat that I want. Thank you very much for the host, guys. That I wanted it to kind of look like my other cats that I've had. So it's going to be an orange tabby, and it's going to be kind of a fat cat, but it's in a very cartoony style. This guy is really, really good. I mean, he was in the running to go like animate for Disney, so he's not an animator at Disney. He does some other stuff. I actually need to catch up with him because like I said, we've both been kind of busy on and off, and I wanna find out what he's up to. Um, but anyway, he has this really cool cartoony style, and I really like his style. And if I had a link to his stuff, I would totally I would totally share it, but I don't currently have a link. I'll ask Afton for his preferred link. What's up? Because he does webcomics also. Let's see. I'm trying to remember the name of his webcomic. I'm sort of rambling, so I can try to remember it. Grumpy Girl. And it's not. I think it's spelt funny, but I can't remember. And he posts a lot of his stuff on Instagram, which I think is kind of it's difficult to navigate. But I for some reason I thought he had a different platform in addition to Instagram. Which is why I'm like, I need to get a link from him. But yes, he does Grumpy Girl comics. He might have a Facebook page, actually, now that I think about it. He may have upgraded to Facebook at some point. But I worked with him at one of the studios I was at when I first came out here, and he was working production side, and I was the poor kid, just like the it wasn't a good environment for him. It wasn't a good environment for anybody really, but some people just do better. And like he was great, he was efficient, and he's super sweet. So people just I don't think he's actually on DeviantArt. His handle is the Hop Art. HOPPART. Like I said, I'd have to go and find a link. Start start plugging him. Cause yeah, he does some great stuff. He doesn't stream. He said he was thinking about streaming, but I don't. He would probably do great. Like he's a great personality too. Really bubbly, really energetic. Like almost always on. Even when he's off, he's on. If that makes sense. You know, some people are just like they're off. They're like nope, and he's still all like happy. Totally, will help you. Yeah, just such a nice guy. Um, but yes, so the name I came up for the mascot is a combination of my username and my two cats' names were both black, not black, they're both orange tabbies. And so one was named Hypnotic, and the other one was named Orion, and so the name I came up with was Hyperion. And I was looking up the word Hyperion because I know I've heard it before. And it's like a Greek god. Not really a god, but one of the titans. So a step above a god. Alright, now I've gotten to the point where I have an actual knot in my green, which is going to force us to set aside and actually put a stitch marker in the crocheting to get this taken care of. No, when I say another platform, I meant like an actual webcomic platform. Or he may have written his own web code or something. I don't think he writes code though, at least not to that extent. Alright, so we have a true knot in here, which is... I mean, I do have the option of like just cutting this off and, tying it all back up together. But there's also something satisfying about not doing that. Right. We got some of this that's coming undone. It's like serious business here. I'm all very quiet and seriously uh, contemplating the yarn here. I do not. And the thing is, like, it's Red Heart yarn. It's not like super expensive stuff, but it's still yarn and it's wasteful just to cut it and. Ah, man. Okay. Although, like I said, I kind of do just want to cut it. And I could cut it here. I could cut it here. And then, like, all that stuff can do its own thing. Yeah, this is pretty twisty in here. Oh, so another thing I wanted to, like, chat about, and I think I have this in the stream title, is giveaway stuff. Yay! I need, and I have had some suggestions made already. I need a crocheted item idea that I'll make on stream to give away. I have reached my 100 follower mark, woo! And actually quite well surpassed it. We are well on our way to the next one, which I think is 250. I'd have to double check. So something small, something that can like easily go in the mail. I could probably ship to the US and Canada, but probably not any other countries. I apologize greatly. I know on my other giveaway, I kind of said that late in the giveaway portion of it, and I had someone who was like in Scandinavia watching me, and they were like, "What? You should have said that sooner!" Like they got a bit upset with me, and I'm like, sorry." So one of the items that had been suggested was a koozie. I need to kind of, and koozie patterns look pretty easy, so that's a good idea. I also have some coasters I've made. I could try and see, because like this is what I would call the 4 stitches per pixel um, pattern of the Space Invaders. Maybe if I just did the one stitch per pixel, I could make something smaller that's Space Invaders, since it's what I've been working on the most this round of streaming. So maybe a Space Invaders something or other. Space Invaders koozie? Ooh, that could be a thing. I think I made untangling progress. I'm pretty sure I did. Just Novaro! Hello! Yeah, I know. I'm like a cat freaking playing with my yarn, right? And it's a huge, huge mess is what's going on here. So I'm just... This is me being stubborn. People are like, oh, you're so patient. Oh man, I wouldn't have the patience for that. I'm like, I really don't think it has much to do with patience. It's more just, you will not get the best of me. That's stubborn defiance. I was talking about this last stream. I was like, you will bend to my will. You will do what I want you to do. I don't know if there's other crafters who have that sort of mentality while they're crafting. Just like, you will bend. Or maybe I'm just a little dark. Oh, I said maybe I'm just a little dark because I'm saying you will bend to my will, to my yarn. I don't want to cut it even. Hmm? I don't want to cut it even though it's super tangled. It will not get the best of me. Sweet Nova, you're amazing. Numbers. Different Nova. Huh? Different Nova. There's two Novas that hang out in the Discord. There's Nova as a Night Nova, and then there's Nova Row. And Nova Row is like hanging out to help boost my numbers, which I... My headset has this bad habit of if I'm not receiving audio, it thinks that it's not being used. So it will just shut down, which is nice. I like the fact that it has a shutdown feature, but it doesn't understand that it's still transmitting. Transmitting doesn't actually keep it on. We are Nova, you will become like us. Oh dear. That could be problematic. Oh, yeah, so if you guys know how to do a name change, the guy who's in here before, the SDFV, he needs to we need to find a walkthrough for him to change his name to Night Nova. Because SDFV whatever else, there's more letters there. I just stop at the first three. That's not a Twitch name, even if you're just a watcher chatter. I didn't think he realized that I'd probably be addressing him so often. Okay. So we've got more trouble, more... Alright, I think we have enough done though where I can continue with the actual crocheting of the project. And we'll just stop again later if I have to. Alright, so we are doing green all the way across. Hiding that black in between. So basically we're doing the row that's right underneath the eyes. Since I'm working from the top down, right underneath the eyes here. So I'm actually pretty happy with the progress that we've been making or on these guys and the cushions themselves. I mean, I have 2 completed cushions already. Alright, and we'll just drop that green and black to the end. Black to the end. So Novaro, I may have tried to drag you into chat last time, unless you're busy doing something else. Do you do any sort of creative making projects where you actually create something? So I know um, there's a couple crocheters in chat right now. Tech Angel was in here, and she does a bunch of stuff. Like she does some really cool painting. She also knits. She also crochets. So Tech Angel's pretty crafty. All right. Oh no, am I gonna have two things to untangle now? The Karen cake. This was a 1 pound, which is now definitely not quite a pound anymore. It's feeling like it's getting a bit bunched up. Alright, come on out, you knot, you. We'll go ahead and fix you up. Oh, this one's not. Ha, this knot is not so bad. Wah, wah, wah. Alright. Yeah, it's not like the green knot. A dose of dandy! Hello! Good to see you again. Well, just like any sort of, like, I Novaro, I don't think that you knit or crochet, but you could build computers, you could solder, you could weld. I mean, even if it's, for a job, it's still creating something with your hands. Like a hands-on, carpentry, woodworking projects, or even just working on cars. Nope, nothing. Yeah. Okay, we're back to the green again already. I'll go ahead and hide that extra little line that we get when we come back. All right. Oh, you have kids. That's right. But that's the best thing though, like, 'cause then you can like make stuff with your kids. Teach them how to do the fun crafty things. I mean, I don't want to eat it into your, computer time, but just, a thought. Nope, you're good. Right. So I think after this guy, do I start decreasing? Kind of. I start two stitches closer in to make the body smaller, so we start getting to the legs there. They're tiny little legs, but they're still legs nonetheless. Oh, late shift. Oh no. I'm trying to remember if there's ever a time. I worked a second shift for a while. It was like a 2 to 10, sometimes 2 to midnight, but never like an overnight shift. Well, I would occasionally get asked to work as long as I needed to, which could end up being like 3 or 4 in the morning. That was And that was super frustrating because I didn't actually get compensated for my time. They're just like, oh, well, you're salaried. You need to do what we need you to do. And I'm like, at some point, we need to say no. I cannot work 18, 5 to 5. Okay. That's, oh, like 5 p.m. to 5 a.m.? That's an icky shift. That doesn't sound pleasant. Or 5 p.m. to 5 a.m. I guess either way, your whole day is gone. If you get off at 5 a.m., you can just like you go home, go to bed, but Yeah, if at 5 p.m. you're tired and want to go to bed, but then like you want to stay up with the rest of the world. Hmm. Oh, well, in that case, yeah, I would probably suck it up for that amount too. Yeah, I haven't quite made that much on myself, but yeah, I'd probably suck it up at that point. I made significantly less, complained a lot less than I am about the job that I'm talking about while I did it. Because I did like what I did. It's just after a while it started affecting my health. Okay, so I need to put this here. We'll pull this through. Stick this through the next stitch. I'm trying to hide the stitch again. This is a little more difficult coming from the other direction. And I'm going two stitches back basically, from where I dropped it. And there's no real easy way to hide it. However, I did a good job of weaving in my ends. Did a good job of weaving in my ends, so I really don't have a current wrong side or right side, so I can make this the wrong side. My yarn is slowly slipping away. Actually, no, this is the wrong side. I have another thing over here. But that's fine. So they're both on the wrong side, which is good. What kind of job? Oh, what was I doing? I worked at a movie studio. I worked at a studio that did 3D. They they got it after. Maybe if I just adjust the volume, it won't go back. Um, like after the special effects and visual effects did their thing. Well, hello there, and thank you for that, host. We got the materials and we worked on them, but then there were some, at the point where we were delivering the movie, we would get like final plates or whatever, and then we would have to, and we get these final plates 2 weeks before the whole movie was due. We're like, we just spent 2 months working on the ones you already gave us, and you expect us to do this in 2 weeks? We'll do what we can. So it got crazy. And then there was the time when they had like 14 projects at once, which was too much more than the people at the studio could handle, and it was, basically the people on the ground level that got to feel the pain of that bad decision. And of course, not the people who made the decision. Alright, so we're getting to the point where I need more green untangled. I'm starting to feel the knot and it's creeping up on me. Alright, so we're going to need another stitch marker. Well, it was the kind of job where like, you need to be able to get to the studio within half an hour if we call you. I'm like, okay, I can do that. Someone in your department needs to be available every weekend. I'm like, you're gonna have to pay us for that. They're like, what do you mean we have to pay you for that? I'm like, it means that she can't go camping and I can't go out to the desert to visit people I want to go visit. That's what that means. If you're saying one of us has to always be available within half an hour of the studio, you are literally limiting what we can do, which means you should pay us. That didn't go over very well. It took like 2 HR people for us to try and figure out how to explain why that was bad. Like the HR people couldn't explain to the executives why. And I'm like, how are you an HR person? They're like, well, you are salaried. And I'm like, that doesn't mean I get zero time to myself. Okay, well, I've gotten a decent amount of what's going on. Strong winds overnight creating extreme fire danger. Stay alert. Listen to authorities. Welcome to Southern California. Southern California during the Santa Ana winds. Santa Ana wind season. So like I said earlier in the stream, we're in a safe place where we're at. There are basically fires all around us, but we are okay and relatively safe. And one of my coworkers put it this way because she was talking to family members who live in other parts of the country. They're like, you know those movies where there's like lava running down the street of LA? That's about what would have to happen for us to have to evacuate. Where are you, Tech Angel? I think you're in like you're a bit north. You in the Sacramento area or? All right, we're dropping the green here. So Dandy, does that mean you must be in the California area then too? It's just it's trying to keep aware of who's where and if you have friends or whatever that. Oh, you're in Wine County. Oh, I have not. Do I know you in real life, Adosa Dandy? Because that sounds. I have not been to the Ramona or Julian area. However, my knit and crochet guild here locally, they just did a retreat out to Julian this past summer, and I had some stuff going on, I couldn't go. But that's why I'm asking, like, are you part of my guild? We just got through all of this, and now we send our guys out. Oh. Yeah, Jingles said when he first came to California, he tried to join the volunteer fire. Okay. Join a volunteer fire department, but in LA apparently they are so highly trained for these types of fires that they don't accept volunteers. Oh, search and rescue. So yeah, they're fire slash search and rescue. Um, it's such a specialized area with demanding terrain and all that that it would just take a lot of effort to train volunteers who may or may not show up. Um, that they don't actually accept volunteers. So they use their paid staff for all that. There's also probably liability issues going on because it is quite a demanding and dangerous area. So know that there are very well trained professionals out there helping people. Yeah, the difference between the Red Heart yarn and the Karen Cake yarn, it's a very small difference, but the Karen 1 pound yarn is actually slightly thicker than the Red Heart. Just by like the tiniest amount. They're still both categorized as a 4 weight yarn, but there's a range. It's not, it has to be this specific size. There's a small range there. So it can, when switching over sometimes it's a bit awkward. Going to the desert and lots of people drive through here to get to the sand. And Julian's semi-famous for apple pie. Yes, actually, they went to Julian, and one of their when they go on these retreats, they choose a small project that you can complete while on the retreat on the weekend. And what they did is they had a knit version and a crochet version of an apple-shaped pot holder. And they were all so cute when everybody came back. Like that night, I went and I found the pattern and I made my own little apple dishcloth. I'm trying to remember where I put it, which is why I'm like randomly looking around. I don't know where my dishcloth is that was inspired by the trip to Julian by other people who went on the trip, not even me. So let's see. I probably might be in here. This is the most likely place for it to be. It's not great. I entered it into the county fair, the LA County Fair, and it won nothing, which I didn't expect it to. I didn't understand the pattern at first, and I had to finish it once to understand what I was doing. It's not in here. But we rearranged everything, so I really have no idea where else I would have put it. Let me check one other spot. Over here, away, hidden from the camera. Making random noises. Does it look for my apple dishcloth? Alright, well, it might be in there, but it's still too, it would be buried a little too deep. Yeah, so somewhere around here, I'll find it sometime, and I'll bring it on stream, or maybe I'll use it to decorate this blank white space behind me. Big blank white space, which I really do want to start filling with stuff. One of the first things I think I'm going to put up there is Minnie Burger's keychain. I have a brain slide keychain that she made, along with Samuel's creations had a little square perler thing as well. Thank you so much for that, host. And Effect, thank you for that, host, as well. So yeah, our guild does that. Apparently the retreat is like the big thing that they wanted to do every year. And this is my first full year. Sunday was my 1 year anniversary with the guild. It's called the Nerdy Knitters of the San Fernando Valley, and I'm their charity chair. So our project for charity has been knitted knockers this past year. Yes, it is an IRL guild. Yeah, I do like that they call it a guild. Like that's how we refer to it as. So, but yeah, I think it was Needy Bird, was like, I haven't seen you for days, and I was like, no, I had IRL stuff I was doing. So Saturday we had our party. Oh, I should show off the stuff I got at the party because that's awesome. And I do need to thank Jingles for also helping me get some cool stuff at the party. So let me finish up this row here, and I'll do a show and tell about the party stuff. Alright, so we're done with the row. And stick this in here. Alright, so the Nerdy Knitter 2017 Holiday Party haul, I guess. My swag and all that. So not this guy. But in this box, we have oh, I don't remember why I got to pick twice. Oh, okay. So we had the very beginning of the event, they had like a bingo, a find person bingo, and there were questions like find someone who spins and dyes yarn, or find someone who can name 5 of the doctors, someone who has 3 or more siblings, somebody who is an only child. So I filled out my whole bingo card, and so I got to choose some stuff off the table. They had a big giveaway table. They call it an opportunity raffle, which means everything's laid out and everybody gets a raffle ticket. Everybody who arrives. So, but the part about it being an opportunity raffle is that the first person whose name gets pulled gets to choose first. So, Jingles and I were at the party and we're looking at the table of all the stuff, and actually I should probably show that thing first. And so we get to this one thing and I go, "Oh my gosh." And he's like, "What? Which one is it?" And I pointed at this box. And I was like, "If you get called before me, you're grabbing that box." And it was actually this box. So it's from Mach Chunky, Kramer Yarns, and it is a sampler box. It is a sampler of fibers ready to spin. There's 20 different colors in here. I think each of them is half an ounce. It's an 8-ounce box and there's 40 in there. So, yeah, 0.5. So this was sitting open on the table, and I was just like, "Yeah, you need to grab that." And lo and behold, he was the very first person called. So, opportunity box. So that was the first thing that was obtained. And then when my name was called, there was some very nice yarn still sitting on the table. So I grabbed these. See, the color is going to be a little off. I want to see how good the color is. There we go. Get closer to the camera. So I grabbed these ones. They're like, this one's sort of like a brown and a pink and a cream. And these are both mono-still Uruguay, but they're silk blends. So these are both silk blended. I think they're sock yarn even. They might be a little heavier than sock. It says use a 4 to 6 needle or 3.5 to 4.25 hook. So it's like a hook size or two smaller than what I'm currently using. So this is sort of like a pearlescent white with purple and lavender, and this is a brown with pink and cream. Really? Oh yeah, actually the color gets worse. Oh my goodness. The color gets worse the closer I get. Let's see if this helps. Nope, you can't even see. It's like off camera at this point. No. So I just need to get better lighting overall. Color's a little closer to true back here because I do have another light, but oh, and then for filling out the card, I got to choose the sock yarn, or I got to go choose what was left from the raffle, and that was this Patton's Crochet sock yarn. So I kind of want to make a pair of socks just because now I have at least 2 skeins of sock yarn. So there's that. I have some other floss stuff in here. I have these tiny mini skeins and I don't know what to do with these ones. These are so nice and so soft. It's merino and cashmere and nylon. And this was like another guild event where they had, they call it a stash exchange. You bring some of your yarn, you take some of the yarn that other people have brought. So I brought in like a whole like bag this big of yarn, and I came out with half, or I brought a bag and a half, and I came out with half a bag. So I did well on that stash exchange. But yeah, this is so soft and squishy. Cashmere merino. I'm like afraid to use it because it's so nice. I don't know what to make with it. And each skein is so tiny. They're like 33 yards each. I can't make a shawl with that, even with 5 of them. At 150 yards, it's like nothing. It's a baby doll shawl. If we win the lottery, I'm going to crochet nothing but the finest merino wools. Let's see what else. This is my box of nice yarns. Like that, like if I had a label for this particular plastic bin, it would be nice yarns. So, because this stuff was also from that other stash exchange. It's alpaca and wool. Also very, very soft and kind of has this cool knobby texture. Again, don't know what I'm gonna make with it. It's a bit long. It's a bit, I have more yardage for this than I do of those tiny skeins. These are, see, these are in meters. This is 110 meters, or 50 grams. And then I think this one's 100% wool, also Manos del Uruguay. And 138 yards. This I probably want to make a hat for myself because it's 100% wool. So I want to find a nice hat pattern and make myself a really cool wool hat. This was a gift from my friend. She's actually visiting right now, and I made a joke about her coming on stream and being a guest. I don't know if she's actually going to show up. She was at a yarn store, and she's like, I found two really pretty yarns. So that was the one that was one of the ones she found. The other one is this gorgeous royal blue. And this is Madeline Tosh, which a lot of people talk, or actually, no, sorry, Malabrigo. This is a Malabrigo, not Madeline Tosh. They both start with M. But yeah, this is silk and merino. So soft. But if I wanted to make anything with it, I'd have to go buy like 4 more skeins of this. And I know about how much these run. So that would have to be a project that I'm highly confident that I'm going to finish. And I have another red monos full of wool in here. And then the rest, like I have some DMC floss. It's like crochet thread. I'm just like, it fits in this one because I don't have that much nice yarn. But yeah, this is my nice yarn box. Is small. Well, and then I have another one that has all knit picks in it. And that stuff, I think I may have mentioned about how I went on eBay and got things. So the knit picks one was like 15 skeins of knit picks yarn. It's all like a wool blend, so they got like Peruvian wool and there's some other cottons in there too. And they were asking $45 plus shipping, and I was like, I'll give you $35 plus shipping. And they said okay, and they sent it to me. I was like, wow, I underbid you by like 25%, and you just said okay. They were probably just looking to get rid of it then. But yeah, that I can use to make a shawl. We're doing a shawl for our crochet along next year, and I'm torn between what kind of yarns I want to use. I've never made a shawl before, so I want it to kind of be nice and pretty and colored, and trying to prevent my headset from turning off. Okay, so I put in a stitch marker. I need to keep working on this. So that was my show and tell from the guild Christmas meeting, or Christmas party, not meeting. Monday I wasn't around. Monday I wasn't around because we actually meet up at a place called Guild Hall. It's a new bar that's a gaming bar. You could use the merino on one of the skinny scarves. A skinny scarf. That's a lot of fires. Music just so my headset stopped shutting down. So I still haven't figured out how I feel about music yet playing in the background. I mean, I go to Monster Cat because I know I can use that. But I don't know. I prefer to talk without being interrupted by music. Nope, that's gonna be super loud. Alright, so I have Monster Cat. Falling stars. Okay. They're pretty in right now. They're generally worn like a choker and then tied in front. Alright. So, okay. This isn't a skinny scarf. This is a scarf. But let's... I mean, are they the ones that do, like... the fold over thing? Where they kinda sorta... Oh, good, you sent me a thing. A link. A thing. You sent me a thing! Yeah, I haven't blocked, Oh, okay, so it does... My hood. Alright. looks like this, and this, and then this. But it's much longer, like it's down to here. Alright. Skinny scarf. That's a neat idea for it. Okay, yeah, so yeah, I got a little bit of nice yarn, and I actually have a lot of yarn. Like, I know you said that you're like, oh, I have to finish a project before I go and get more yarn for the project or whatever. A lot of this yarn I had before I met Jingles. And so yeah, and I have a thing. I told you about this. I have a thing for giveaways. Love entering the giveaways. And I don't honestly I need the yarn. I don't have to pay for it if I win it. And a lot of the yarn that's given away is very nice yarn. I'm trying to think about the nicest yarn I've purchased. It was when I went to. Okay, so here's a very like fiber arts nerdy thing. I had some stuff I needed to get done out in the Midwest. Thank you very much for that, host Ace. And so I flew into Chicago, and I needed to drive down. Thank you very much for that, host Degram. I can't read the host notifications from over here. I should probably fix that. I thought I fixed it, and it's still an issue. So I had to fly into Chicago. I had to drive down to Indiana. After I was in Indiana, I needed to go back up and into St. Paul. And like the easiest, the safest way to do that would be going back up to Milwaukee and then over to St. Paul. So it was a lot of driving. But since I was doing all this driving, someone else had pointed out to me because I was saying, "Hey, I'm taking this huge road trip, and over when I go home for Christmas." And someone's like, "You need to go visit the Guinness Book World Records largest knitting needles and largest crochet hook." And I'm just like, "What?" Apparently, the largest knitting needles and the largest crochet hook were literally on my way through all of that. So I looked into it and I went there and I bought some of the hand-dyed yarn she had, and that was probably the most expensive nice yarn I've bought. I tried making a pussy hat out of it, and I didn't quite follow the directions properly, and so I need to basically frog the whole thing and start over again. I want to find the pattern someone gave me wasn't the official pussy hat pattern, which I was a little annoyed with. Although the official pussy hat is knit and not crocheted. I feel like I made a mistake here somewhere. Hold on. I should be starting 2 rows in because I finished the 2 rows. So these 2 stitches actually need to be black, not rows, stitches. So 1 and 2. This needs to be brought in. That doesn't look like 2 stitches though. No, it does not, because this one has to. One, 2, switch to green, okay. Pull through. Next stitch, still in green, pull through, pull through. There we go. Now we should be good to go. So yeah, it's in this very small town. The biggest knitting needles and the biggest crochet hook in the world are in this very small town in Indiana. Or Illinois? I think either way, it's like in the middle of nowhere. It took me 2 hours to get back to a highway. Like, I mean, highway where there's more than one lane of traffic in your same direction. So it was quite the journey. And the lady didn't realize, like, I don't think she understood, like, how big of a draw that could be. Because she's like, oh, you came for this? And I was like, well, yeah. I mean, she wanted to know more stuff like, what kind of yarns were actually out in California. What did she have that was unique? And I asked her if she had any hand spun yarn from local spinners, and she's like, no, I don't. And I was like, well, what about roving for spinning? And she's like, nobody bought it. I just got rid of it like a month ago. I was like, oh, okay. I guess I'll get something else. Because I was really at that point, I was really into spinning, and I had been hoping that she had had some, like roving or locally sourced wool or something. But alas, there was not. Alright, time to go back black. And drop the green. Okay, and this next one will be a little easier. Alright. Gotta untangle the yarn. I mean, really, tangled yarn is like the theme of tonight. I wonder, like, if one night, like, because bringing out the yarn is really kind of exciting. We just do, like, a stash day. It's like, show off the stash. I'm gonna sneeze. Okay. I think it's just one sneeze. Alright, so we're about 5 rows away from being done with the green and just starting to do straight up black. Oh, thank you, Bee Bird. Yeah, the fires and stuff have, like, I noticed a big difference today, like, just the amount of times I've been sneezing. Everybody in the office was sneezing, like, it's uncomfortable. I got crap blown into my face on Monday evening, and I've been using eye drops at least once a day, just because it's just itchy and dry and smoky out here. Oh, well, fine. I don't mind doing, like, I have large boxes of yarn. Guessing nice yarn is meant for clothing and affordable yarn is for amigurumi and fun projects like your ones you're working on. That's how I would use my yarn, Dandy. But I mean, if people have the budget and really want to do other projects with it, I mean, you can do what you want. But that's how I would use my yarn is, yeah, because it does feel so much nicer. It's stuff you would like to have against your skin. I'm not sure I would like some of this like Red Heart Super Saver to be up against my skin, like let's say if I made a scarf or whatever. It's a little itchy. I mean, it's acrylic. It's a little itchy. Wool's a little itchy, but it has added benefits to it. It's absorbent. Acrylic is not. It actually has properties that block wind better and insulate heat better. Acrylic is just, I mean, it's plastic. It's very thin plastic twisted together. Um, but yeah, I would want to use my nice stuff for next to the skin. And there's some other, like cotton is really good against the skin. Cotton's really good for so much. Oh, Bumble, hi! Yes, I'm on the green one. I start at the top and work my way down, so like it looks upside down when I'm working on it. But it goes this way. You got his eyes, and I was saying I'm about 5 rows from the end. I did a little stash exploration a few minutes ago, so we're talking about different types of yarn and their makeups and their fiber content. Um, but yeah, Dandy, to answer your question, that is how I use my yarn. I use my acrylics and there's some acrylics that are nice. Like, let me back up here. There's some acrylics that are really nice and soft. A really good example is Lion Brand Moonlight. I'm trying to think where my Moonlight yarn is. It was probably in one of the bigger boxes. Well, Bumble, since I started streaming, I have gotten so much done. Like this is the most these guys are the most I've gotten done in months as well. But yeah, having a stream where I sit and I crochet for at least, I mean, my goal is at least 3 hours a night when I sit down and actually do a full stream. I mean, I work full time, so I can't really, I can't do a 24-hour stream, or I also just don't want to spend 24 hours streaming. I love you guys, but I got stuff to do in real life too. But yeah, having the dedicated time for crochet or for whatever, because I'll probably start spinning at some point. I got some excellent spinning fiber that I just showed off, and I wouldn't mind pulling it out again. Thank you so much for that, host. Um, so yeah, I wouldn't mind bringing my spinning wheel out. I would have to. I'm taking a look at the camera setup. I'd probably adjust the camera setup if I started spinning, because you'd probably want to see the wheel a little bit more. I would have to point it down. I'm not counting. I will tell you that right now. I am not counting. I am using the previous row of the little alien to keep track of where I'm at. It just takes practice. The tension takes practice. Um, yeah, so, yeah, dirty little secret, I'm not counting. Because it's kind of like I mean, it's an 8-bit pattern. I'm just following either what the row below it did, or basing what I'm doing off of, like, oh, okay, I have 2 less stitches on the ends for each thing. Not counting. It's also why some of my projects look wonky. I don't count every single row. I I get lazy and don't make swatches. I'm That's why I don't do wearables. Like I haven't done many wearables. I need to. I will preface it and say all this like these are bad habits. Don't do what I do. Cuz like right now I kind of did a little trick thing to bring my yarn up to or my stitches up to speed, and I don't really know where I should stop. Alright, so this Alright, this is gonna be a black one is hiding, and the green one comes around. But alright, then we'll make this one. No, that's not right. That should have been a black to pull through. Alright, so pull the black through. Alright, and then I go black to the end. See, that's how I count. Now, black to the end. Okay, 2 more, 1 more. It's not real. Nope, I did need to bring that over 1 more stitch. And I'm just basing it off of what I'm seeing. If it looks wrong, it's probably wrong. So, we got 1 green here. And then put it in the next one, and 1 green, even though it doesn't match. I'm supposed to match the previous row with the... This will be fine. I'll make this work. It's gonna be black. And it's gonna be fine. Because I said so. It still looks a little weird to me, but it looks fine overall. So has anyone else here tried spinning or know much about spinning? Oh, and has any of you guys ever actually been able to catch Hellchick? I jump into her channel right as she's like signing off and being like, okay guys, calling it a night. Like I tried to raid her one night and she was getting ready to raid me. So had I waited like a minute, like I would have had her raid, and yeah, It was really crazy. It was raidception. Okay, so now I believe I'm at the part where I make the first little stumpy leg, which will be 2 stitches in from my first thing. Yeah, not really counting. Yeah, I was like, oh, okay, just 2 stitches. Everything the same except those 2. And then it'll just be black as we keep going. Yes, that is called a drop spindle. The yarn with a weighted top. I was very eager to get to the wheel that I didn't hair off a furry bunny sitting in his lap. He was probably making Angora then. That would be kind of cool though, to be able to have a bunny sitting there and just kind of like pluck its soft fur and just make yarn from it. Just like chillin'. Okay, so 1, 2, bring up the green. Pull it through. And we're only doing 2 here. So here's 1 and 2. Oops, I didn't hide my black. I'll have to go back because I didn't hide the black. Oh, can I still? I can hide the black like this. Thank you very much for that, host. It's greatly appreciated. Alright, hiding the black, bring the green. 1, 2. This needs to be a black that pulled through. Pull through. 1, 2. No, that's just 1. Or is that 2? That's going to end up being 2 once I get it done correctly. Alright, so I have to remember to put the black in between there. I did not do that. Okay, so black. Pull the green through. There we go. Yeah, pull the green through all of these. I split my yarn. I hate it when I split the yarn. It's the worst feeling. Alright. Yeah, when I have to go in a couple stitches, it gets a little wonky. Like if I have to skip more than one stitch, and in these cases I'm doing 2, like pulling the yarn over from 2 stitches over and 1 row down is it's a little difficult. That's 1, 2. Alright, there we go. So that is a stitch, and that's why the other row looked funky, because the one I skipped was actually a stitch. Huh. Yeah, the bunny probably didn't mind at all. Alright, so, and then I do black for how many stitches? 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. Okay, so this is about the most counting I'll do. 1, 2, 3. Although this doesn't seem to make sense. 4. Yeah, this is not making sense. I may have gone in too many rows. I may have to pull out a couple more rows. So, okay. Finish at the end of there, and then it goes in one section. The legs were supposed to be 2 rows back. Alright, I need to pull this out for quite a ways. Alright, so this is supposed to be there. This row is supposed to be there. This row gets pulled out. Alright. And I do have to switch which yarn I pull. Wow, I have to go back kind of a ways. Like, I have to go back like 4 whole rows. See, that's how much we were getting done, is that I just kept going, that I like added a bit to the pattern. Alright, pull out, pull out, pull out, pull out. Alright, and the legs will be here, so I could probably... No, I still need to go all the way back. But I don't have to undo this whole row. I can start here. Yeah, I can't say, I don't know much about the like bunny attitudes or anything like that. Like if Angoras are always passive or anything like that. Actually, am I already 2 stitches in? I am. I could have kept 2 of the green in. Dang. Alright, so we're going to do the same thing before. We did before. I'll pull that out. Alright, so hide the black. Bring the green around. Alright, so that's stitch 1. Hiding the black. And stitch 2. Switching to black, hiding the green. Alright, now I do 10. So this is 1. There we go. 2. I'm a little tangled up because I had to pull all that stuff out. And maybe I shouldn't cross my legs over the yarn either. 2. 3. 4. 5. 6. 7. 8. 9 and 10. Oops. Yeah, here we go. Pull through 10. And then we'll switch to the green for 2. 1. See, now here's where I know at some point I counted wrong, because I should be covering up 2 green stitches right here, and I'm only covering up 1. But actually, maybe I should go back and at least cover that. So we're gonna sort of cheat this a little. I'm gonna go back 1 black stitch and actually give myself that 2 stitches room. So 1, 2. So this one, I need to pull the green through this. It looks too weird. I can't not do that. It's too off center. And I can drop the green at this point because the rest of this will be black. And the next row will be a lot easier because it's going to be picking up in the same spot I left off. I don't have to do the weird diagonal thing again. Alright. I think my goal for tonight is to finish this square, and it doesn't have to have the border around it, because the border I've noticed kind of takes a day in itself, or a session in itself. But at least finish this, because after, so I'll have these 2, these are like the inner legs, and then they have like legs that go out for stability, and after that it's, how many rows here? 3, 5, 6, 7, 8. That's just 10 rows of straight up black. 10 rows. Alright. So now, what did you call this? Do you call this double crochet? Bumble, you used a term. I was using a completely different term, but I'm thinking the term that I'm using in Tarja is actually a knitting technique and not a crocheting one. So I need to look up the double knitting or double crocheting or whatever you said it was. I want to make sure I'm using the right terminology to describe what I'm doing. There's 1 and 2. Alright, and I'll hide the green. Knitting, oh, knitting you learned is double knitting. Knitting over the previous stitch. Sort of, I guess. Sort of like cross stitch for knits. I mean, maybe this is a little different than that, because I'm not, like, stitching over a previous stitch. That would be something like, you know, if I did some of the spike stitches, like where you go down a couple rows, I would think that would be. And then I've actually done some where it tells me to cross over, where I skip a stitch and then make my next stitch there, and then go back to this stitch I skipped, and it actually makes an X. Like, literally make an X in your stitch. But yeah, I'll have to go ahead and look that up and read up on it, because I wanna call it the right thing. But it's good to know there are other terms and other similar techniques out there. Like, that's... Alright, so 1 and 2, because this is actually a stitch right here, and this is what I skipped before and made it weird. That's the stitch 2. And now we drop the green, go back to black, and my next green one is going to be 2 stitches closer to the end. Oh my god. Not quite. Like the yarn, I'm using the 2 yarns, and like it's just a straight line. I mean, in crochet you stitch within the next stitch underneath it, which you obviously know. But yeah, I'm dragging the yarn along with me is what I'm doing. There's, yeah, like it's not a stitch there. It's hiding for when I need it for later use. Oh, it totally blew oh no, I did 3 stitches there. There's only supposed to be 2. Ay, oy, oy. Yep, that's not right. So when I was telling people in my guild, I was like, hey, I can do this thing, like I can, without cutting my yarn. And that's the big bonus. When you switch colors, you don't have to cut your yarn. And really, it works best with only like 2 or 3 colors. But to me, that was the big bonus, is that I did not have to cut the yarn when I changed colors. And I was telling someone else, I was like, yeah, you do end up using more yarn. But, you know, if you're using something like the red heart, are you actually worried about how much extra, you know, if you use an extra, like, yard of yarn? No, you're not. But weaving in, like, 20 tails, you probably saved yourself a lot of time there. So, I'm a big fan of it. Since, you know, everybody hates weaving in ends. There's no, I can't think of a sane person who would like to weave in ends. Like, there has to be some very weird thing going on in your brain if you like weaving in ends. Like, the blanket that I'm working on, which is sitting right here, like, all the ends still exist. Because what I want to do, when I get to the end of it, and there's a border, I am just going to leave those ends, and I'm going to crochet right over them. Just like I'm doing with this. Those ends are going to stay there, and I'm just going to hide them. Not going to go ahead and, you know, tuck them all in all nice and pretty. Just going to work right over them. Because they're still going to be in the work anyway, whether you weave them in or whether you crochet over them, they still exist. Okay, so after pulling all of that out, I'm actually back to the spot where I need... Actually, I gotta go ahead and untwist this a bit. Or I need to pull out more black yarn. That's a good sign. Let's go ahead and do this. I won't twist the whole thing. Actually, I didn't twist the whole thing. Flip it around. Because every time you change color, every time I switch between green and black or whatever, it actually does twist up the yarn. I just don't want to twist the whole project while I'm in the middle of working it. Yeah, I need to check out the corner to corner process. I've seen a couple people do the blankets and they look really awesome. So I need to take a look at it and decide which one do I want to make. But I have to finish this one first. So my current list of projects right now, in order, is the Space Invaders. And then I need to figure out something for a giveaway since I've hit my follower goal. And then after that, probably Christmas presents. I have some Christmas presents I need to make. They'll probably be like little washcloths to washy things. It'll be like cotton and scrubby yarn. I need to do 2 of those, and I want to either find a pattern or write a pattern for them. I will probably make the pattern myself, because I know what I want. I know what I want to make. I know what I want to give. And then the blanket, and then knitting. So once I basically get like all the holiday crochet stuff done, they're super fast. I had an example one here earlier. I don't know where I tossed it. It's a really brightly colored circle. And it'll show up in the picture thing. It's kind of like these guys. And these guys are actually sort of what gave me the idea to do them. So it's basically 2 circles that I've smashed together. And one of the circles, it has scrubby yarn every other